take a deep cleansing breath, and I'll, like, to the count of 4 in your head, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it for a second, and then release it for 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's clear out our brains. If you would, just follow the bell. It'll lead us into a moment of silence, and then we'll all come back.
Beautiful. How do you not catch your breath here? You know?
Since this is the Stress Institute and it's Oak Haven, the Center for Mindful Living, we're going to begin to talk about stress. And it's a word that's just thrown around. I'm stressed out, I'm stressed out. It's just my whole life. Overworked, overbooked, overwhelmed. Where you are here at Oak Haven is all about learning practices for a healthy lifestyle. It's not psychotherapy. You came here to learn wonderful, effective, science-backed ways of how to change your life. There's acute stress and chronic stress. Acute stress is, like right now, if one of the neighbor's cows came running through here. We'd have an adrenaline flow, and then it would subside. Chronic stress is what's the killer. Chronic stress is unabated stress. It continues over time. So what I want us to do this morning, we're going to go around. Let's talk about what you feel like your biggest stress triggers are.
My top stressor, number one, is finances. Over the last year, I've incurred an awful lot of debt. I underwent weight loss surgery. I had what is called dual denal switch. It's a type of a gastric bypass. And I've lost over 150 pounds in that year. You still are not exactly normal yet. You have the skin issues. I should be undergoing the plastic surgery phase. When I lost my job, I lost my benefits as well. So it bothers me all the time that I can't complete that part of my journey.
The biggest stressor, number one, without a doubt, is the relationships that I have. You know, we all have people in our lives, if it's maybe our family, our neighbors, people we work with.
Give me a relationship, somebody or something.
Well, my soon-to-be ex-husband.
Yes.
I mean, I still am in a co-parent relationship with him. We have to work together to raise our kids, to settle our affairs, to make plans for the future for both of us. And I have to be able to do that very amicably and forget everything that's happened and put all that aside and still look at him as an adult, as a friend, and make decisions with him that's in his best interest and in my best interest and the best interest of our kids. And that takes a lot more maturity than I think I have some days. So that's a tough one.
Renae.
My top stresses right now would first probably be finances, my career. I find that I'm in a line of work where my appearance is easily accepted because I'm a correctional officer, more so than it is in corporate America, because I went up for $1 million in one of those jobs first. And I swear I'd sell them over the phone, fax the resume in, everything be great. Oh, Renae, come on down, yeah. And I show up and I walk in and they're like, oh, Renae, that's, looking at the resume, looking at me, looking at the same one I talked to on the phone yesterday. Oh, yeah, we'll call you. And of course, that phone call never comes. And that causes a lot of stress because it puts me in a predicament to say, okay, well, do I need to change who I am so I can be more accepted? Because I feel like I've been put in this box and I have to work this type of job, because when you're a 6'1", 200+ pound female working in a maximum security women's prison, it's definitely a good thing. Of course, I blend right in. I'm what they're looking for. I walked in and I was basically sold before I even handed them the application. Oh, you? Yeah, come on, yeah, get a chair. So you want a job, huh? I'm sure we'll find you a place. I mean, it's literally that simple in this type of field. But that's not who I am. I'm a writer, I'm a musician, and I'm way off course from that.
The happiest, most successful people I've ever known were the Mavericks. They were people who people thought were crazy or weird or strange or didn't fit. And maybe you're the person who could change the correctional facilities for beginning with women. Because you have a heart for these women.
Right.
You do. A lot of them did stupid things when they weren't thinking.
Right.
And they're going to pay for it for the rest of their life. And you have a heart for that. And maybe there needs to be music about that.
I have several levels of stress. I started a new business last year. The stress is that not only am I doing for their company, but I have to remember to do for mine. Another stress thing is that I came back to Atlanta and I hadn't seen friends in 10 years, and all of them seem to get married and they're all coupled up, or dynamics had changed. I had changed, and I don't know where I fit. I'll be 49 at the end of the year, and being gay in 50 is like kind of weird idea for me.
I'll mention the 50 thing too, okay, just for 1 second. And I had the Peter Pan principle. I never wanted to grow up, because I'm still a child. And I believe at 50, I finally came to the realization, whoa, what have I done? And now maybe it's time to grow up and give back. And that's what I'm learning. I guess I get frustrated by all just the negativity. And that's what I hope we can make a change one day. So it's kind of my stuff.
My biggest stress is probably relationships as well. Relationships that I have created, some inherited, again, that they didn't ask for, but are stress centers for me. I've helped a lot of people realize their dreams. The people that I work with, my kids, some friends, and mine have been put on hold. But it's safe, this little stress world that I've created for myself.
As I listen to each of you, what I'm collected is isolation. I don't feel isolated anymore, around my issues, because there's been such great sharing, and so that yes, we do have to take the initiative, but we have to find the others. Who's struggling with what you're struggling with, and we're so creative. God.
Let's take a deep breath and go inside yourself. Get in touch with yourself. How are you feeling? What's your heart feeling? Since we talked about stress, stress is the thief in the night. It is the robber of your peace and serenity. So let's go around and share with everyone, where right now do you find that serenity?
My serenity would have to do with nature.
I love to walk.
I find it in Natalie, who is 3.
Just this morning when I got up for everybody else and I went for that run.
And I believe when you find knowledge or the answer to something,
I do find serenity in his home.
Sometimes my life can get so chaotic that I don't take enough time to stop and smell the roses. And I feel that people do that more and more so these days.
Grabber Matt, y'all gonna have to check out your toys. Gonna have a little adult recess. Doesn't it feel good to be outside?
Yeah.
Perfect day for this. We kind of stop playing as we get older, but really, The reason we get older is because we stop playing. When's the last time you hula hooped or bounced a ball or blew bubbles? The idea of mindful muscle movement and really engaging your muscles in a mindful way is what we're going to talk about.
I find this was also fascinating as long as I've done this, how interesting it is, how we're the same but we're so vastly different that we find peace and serenity in many different places.
Really, I find it in Natalie. Kids know when they're done, and when they're done, they're just done. And she'll lay down in about 30 seconds, she's asleep. And if I'm fortunate enough to be there when she does that, I can smell her. And if you could bottle that smell, it's play and laugh and love and unconditional everything. And then she breathes, really, really breathes.
Always exhale as you pull out. On any exercise, really, at the point of exertion is when you should be exhaling. Keep pulling out, exhale, and release. So simple, you know? Exhale and release.
You know, you're going up the mountain, you never look back to see the view. And finally you get to the top, and now you're going down the other side of the mountain, you're going, whoa, what have I done? And now maybe it's time to grow up and give back. And that's what I'm learning.
Let's go ahead and take the band behind your back.
You kind of like this, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. That bondage
My
thing.
cup of tea. Oh, not that.
I went for that run, and I saw the sun coming up on the water and the trees and the mountains, and it brought tears to my eyes. That is so beautiful. And I thought, life is good. This is gonna pass. This is spectacular. Look at this beauty. I had to take a moment and just say, thank you, God. I'm glad I didn't sleep in. I'm glad I got up and saw it.
This morning I woke up early and I saw all of the animals waking up, and every one of them started by stretching. I mean, the cows, the horses, they'd get up, the first thing they did was stretch.
Where right now do you find that serenity?
I just like looking at nature, whether it's on beaches or hiking through mountains or whatever it is, and that usually really calms me down.
It's obviously a sense of freedom for you, a freedom in connection, awareness, choice, and then it gives you energy from the experience. That's perfectly what you're describing in your serenity of walking. Freedom.
I guess, you know, when you're in a state of depression, you don't find a lot of serenity. You're in like a prison of your own mind, I guess. Even when I go places, it's like I just want to be home, and I find myself trying to do things to make home better. I want an orange sectional so bad.
It's your nest. It's digging in that nest and putting some orange in there, the color of creativity. It's the color of the sun, of birth, of life.
And while we're seated, let's go ahead and grab our bubbles.
If we get back to the basics, I think a lot of us will have less stress. But we get so caught up thinking about what needs to be done, and it has to be done in this time frame. We get so caught up in time, and we put so much emphasis on it that we never just take out the time to enjoy what we have and really reflect on that.
Again, y'all, do you remember we stop playing as we get old?
There we go.
Really? We get old because we stop playing?
All right.
I think you each took at least 10 years off your life.
Oh, go like this. Look.
They're not going to recognize you when you come in for lunch.